from my mother's basement in Los Angeles, California. Live from my mother's basement, ladies and gentlemen, with me, Mike Marino. We're live in Los Angeles. Haven't been here in, I think, almost a year. Let me start off by saying how happy I am to be back in Los Angeles, California, with one of my favorite entertainers, comedian slash actor. I say the word entertainer because I think comedian corners you a little bit. And we're going to talk all about that because this is Tommy Savitt, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello to Tommy. Tommy, thank you for coming to my basement.
My pleasure. I couldn't help but admire your sponsors putting up the big money for this sign you got here.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Well,
you're doing well. That's what's important. Big budget, and you believed in yourself. And that's what my comedy's about, is believing in yourself. I believe it's better to have false hope than no hope at all.
all right, we're going to have a great show. That's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. He believes in having false hope than no hope at all. I do my show live from my mother's basement in New Jersey. I have a beautiful sign that was created by my director and producer, Tatiana, who you met, and Cody, who you met, and I forgot it. I left it in New Jersey, so about 15 minutes ago, I made my sign of like kindergarten.
Very impressive.
I didn't have any crayons. Anyway, so that's the sign, and we are live from my mother's basement. This is episode 201. So let's say thank you, everybody who was watching all the other episodes over the course of, I believe, 4 years. We celebrated 200 episodes a week ago with my dad. I had my dad on my show. He was the special guest. And thank you everybody who wrote in, and thank you everybody who gave me a testimonial about being on the show and who they thought should be in the show in the future. I had people tell me who they thought was their best guest.
I watched the episode.
Oh, okay.
I watched it. I didn't see the episodes. So I was like watching the Cliff Notes version without knowing who the characters are. So I didn't get the full...
A lot of people actually voted for the actor Gary Pastore.
Yes, that was the name I heard a lot.
Gary was in a lot of movies, and he had been on my show probably 5 or 6 times because where I live in New Jersey, he lives in walking distance. And when the COVID happened, doing the test all the time, it was great to have somebody who's in walking distance, could go to the CVS, get a test, and come over to the house. So that's kind of one of the reasons why it was happening. And then we just got so used to being on the show together. We had some nice chemistry, and we worked on a TV project together. And just like when you and I worked on a project together, the chemistry is so great, it's so much fun, it becomes natural, and you start making shit up, and you have fun.
I gotta tell you, you're the hardest worker in the business. Very talented.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I gotta tell you, I believe your next episode, you'll have a better sign.
We do have some catering on the show tonight. Now that we're back in California, I called a local food place that I'm always happy to be part of and have some food come to the set here in North Hollywood. And we're going to talk about that food, but we're going to talk right now about Tommy, his show, how he developed the show, where it's going around the world, and so on and so forth. So we have to right now quickly interrupt the show by saying that we lost a friend.
Yes.
The comedy community, as we say that here in Los Angeles, the comedy community lost a fellow comedian. I'm sure you're all going to see it in the news today. It happened very quickly here in Hollywood because once a fellow comedian falls, it's on every marquee in Hollywood, and comedians all call each other. Whether they like each other or they don't, you start getting text messages from everybody that you know that does stand-up comedy or performs comedy on television. So we lost Norm Macdonald, and it's very, very sad. And everybody knows him from Saturday Night Live, but we used to see him over at the Laugh Factory quite often, and so it's a sad day. I don't know what you know about it, but I believe cancer.
Cancer. He was struggling with it for a while.
And see, I didn't even know about that. How old was he?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm guessing in his 50s.
I heard
If not, maybe early
60,
60s. Yeah.
61, which is a very young age. And here we are losing people to fucking COVID and all the crazy shit that's going on in the world. And we lose a very talented guy to COVID. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald, that they're saying. So, little shout out to the family. We're sorry, we're saddened, and I'm sure it's going to be all over the news.
It is.
Yeah, TMZ, and then we'll find out exactly what happened. So, I'm going to take in a quick question because this question needs to be answered right now, and this will actually pull us out of the sad story and put us into some comedy. But Gina Marie, who's in Long Island, New York, is asking if Tommy was in my web series. Why don't you answer that question?
Yes, I was the Tommy Lama, giving him advice on his presidential run on that series that Mike Marino has on. It's on YouTube. I don't know what other facilities you have it on. So I was a special appearance where Marino and company come to the Tropicana in Las Vegas to seek the wise counsel of the Lama. You know, where not only did he come seeking for me to solve his problems, I solved it by creating bigger ones.
Let's set this up on how it actually happened, because I would like everybody to go watch the web series, but now, of course, specifically this one particular episode. It was supposed to be a series of 3 more episodes, but when the pandemic hit, we couldn't keep on going, so we stopped filming. You want me to set it up, how we got in there, and then you tell us why you were the Tommy Lama and how that went down.
Well, I had a residency
There
at the
you go.
Tropicana. The Tommy Lama is a self-help show that would help you see the advice that I give is something that could kill you, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it's an hour of such set advice that I give. It's interactive. I talk to the dead. I do feng shui. I rearrange the room. It feels so good. You leave my show going, what the hell did I just see? I don't know if I want my money back. But the point is this. I had my own show there, and as a guru, self-help guru, self-acclaimed, I got my ministry off the internet like everyone else. And Mike came up with the idea for his series, for his launching to become president of the United States, to come seek the advice and sage counsel of me, the Tommy Lama. And I blessed him. I read his animal spirit cards. It was a whole rigmarole and total, how would I say, imperative nonsense.
Let's take this back again. First of all, to have a residency, and for those of you who don't know exactly what that term is in the industry that we're in, it means he has a regular ongoing show in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a very, very difficult goal to achieve.
You know, I had that on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Who the hell thinks you're gonna get that?
Right.
You
right.
know, I like that. You put it down. You know, things I want to do. Yeah, I have my own Las Vegas show. Like I ever thought that was gonna happen.
Well, it happened. His Las Vegas show was ongoing night after night at the Tropicana in Las Vegas, Nevada. The famous Tropicana. So he's at the Tropicana night after night doing his show. What was the name of your show?
The Tommy Lama.
The Tommy Lama is the name of the show. And, of course, his name is Tommy Savitt, the Tommy Lama. So, me and my friend Marco Asante and some of the other guys that are in my web series, my director Cody Boyson, my producer Tatiana Bluchel, we were all out there filming Make America Italian Again. And since I was friends with the celebrity over here, Tommy Savitt, I knew he was doing a show at the Tropicana. I said, Tommy, would you mind being in my web series? Pretty much taking his act and putting it in my show. And he humbly said yes. And we shot one of the funniest scenes in the web series, I think, when me and Marco thought we were going to see the Dalai Lama, and we had a brochure that said the Tommy Lama from Brooklyn at the Tropicana. So we go to the Tropicana. I watched the show, and I'm like, please, you need to be in my series. So we go to see him for counsel. And in the counsel, we watch him tell us about ourselves, and it is absolutely hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing while we were shooting.
That was great. That was great. That was great. Did you? Yeah, I'm sure you have the aftertakes on that.
The outtakes.
The outtakes. That's what I meant. Yeah, the outtakes. That would
Yeah.
be funny if you showed the outtakes from that episode.
Yeah.
Because that you,
We didn't even know what the hell we were doing. All right, wait. We got a quick. We're getting some great mail right now. Folks, keep watching. We are going to take in some questions. We are going to give you some answers. We're going to give you some life tips from the Tommy Lama. Ciao, Mike and Tommy. Salute from Lancaster, Lancashire, United Kingdom. Okay,
Nice.
so some people out in the United Kingdom and England are watching the show right now. It's nice to see you, Patrick. And Gina Marie, she's actually saying, you and Marco sitting on the floor, too funny, freaking hysterical. Well, this is him. This is the guy who played that character, or this is the guy who is that character, the Tommy Lama. And it's funny because I remember me and Marco were in the desert. We drove all the way outside of Vegas just to, but
the toilet. There
That
was a toilet in the desert.
there was a few of them. Like,
Yeah.
who throws a toilet out in the desert? And it was on the entrance way to Vegas. And so we had to go all the way back out there with the brochures of his show. We took your brochures.
Yes.
The real ones.
Yes.
It wasn't made up stuff.
Tabletops, that would advertise the show.
Like a menu.
Yeah, like a menu.
Looked like a menu. And they were all over Vegas to get people to come watch the show. So we took it. We go all the way back out to the desert. And we're in suits. It's 110 degrees. And the joke was, we need to seek help. He goes, well, why don't we go see the Dalai Lama? And he goes, perfect. He's here in Vegas. And we pick up the brochure. And he goes, the Tommy Lama tonight at 7 o'clock or whatever it was. And I go, fine, let's go see him. And I remember when we pulled in front, I go, hey, wait a minute. This doesn't say Dalai Lama. He goes, Dalai Lama, Tommy Lama. It's the same shit. And we went in there, and it was hilarious. So, how does now, you're obviously from Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Tell us about being born and raised in Brooklyn and deciding I'm going to go from childhood, high school, college, and I'm going to be a comedian. How'd that all happen?
Well, let's fast forward. Let's skip the childhood. Let's go into the young man entering law school. Okay, let's skip. We could go back to Brooklyn. It's all Brooklyn. I went to Brooklyn Law School, and I decided, what am I doing here, Mike? I'm lost.
That's almost like a funny concept. Brooklyn Law School.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Was it a good school in Brooklyn for law?
No, Brooklyn Law School. It actually, people don't, because it's Brooklyn, but it's a revered school. It's a very respectable.
It's actually called Brooklyn Law School.
I mean, great names have come from there. Big names like Geraldo Rivera,
Oh.
David Dinkins.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
The best. Now listen. So I'm in law school. I go, this is not fun. This is not fun. And, and in my childhood, I was a cut up in class. Now, since I do comedy, a lot of comedians, a lot of people go, well, they're different when they're off stage. That's because when you do comedy and you do your outlet, it's like methadone, calms you down. Like you have your outlet already. You don't always have to be a cut up. But in school, I always would act out. So anyway, I'm in law school, and I'm going, this is not for me. I don't relate to these people. What can I do to make this thing exciting? Once again, I never thought I'd get a Las Vegas show, and I never thought I'd do stand-up comedy. So I go, what do I do? And I go, I know, brilliant. I'm wise. I'm from Brooklyn. I go, I'm going to join the Marines. I'm going to become an officer and become a lawyer, and a JAG officer.
Really?
Yeah. So.
You really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well,
You
it's
went
about
to the-
time you learn about
you
your
went-
friend.
you went to
it's
the-
about time you ask me questions.
We're gonna get a lot of questions. You joined the Corps?
I joined the Corps.
No shit.
I did. So, but I got a summer program where you do your basic training one summer, and then you do. I went with the intention of being a reservist because I was going to law school.
Right.
So I went to boot camp. I slimmed down, svelte, 174 pounds. It'll never happen again. I'm making the drill instructors laugh. I'm using vocabulary that's above their pay grade, and I'm playing with them. But it's funny, I would go, "Sir, this recruit does not understand the trepidation that is being instilled upon the squadron. Yet alone thyself, you are obsolete." No, so I'm just playing.
Like an
with them.
intelligent Gomer Pyle.
Yeah. So they would make up punishments for me, and they tried to turn the squad against me, and I made them laugh throughout the whole thing, so they wouldn't turn on me. There was two that were really wanted to get me. They wanted to throw a blanket party.
How old are you at this time?
24 years old.
24. Okay.
So, bottom line is this. I had problems. Being from Brooklyn, I didn't have a pool. So I never learned how to swim. Okay, and I'm going to tell you something. You don't learn how to swim in the Marines. You should learn it beforehand. They put the Kevlar on you, the M16A2, the boots, the thing. Jump, dive from the top board. I can't swim. Shut up and go in. I went in. I grabbed them. That's a no-no. You don't grab the instructors while they're in the pool. It's a safety hazard. They threw me out of the pool. So I had to go to the administration, and they go, "Yeah, okay, here's the deal. We leave you back till you learn how to swim under these conditions, or you leave as if nothing happened." So I took the latter one.
Really?
Yeah, I left.
Is that like being...
No, nothing dishonorable. Nothing honorable.
How'd you
Never happened.
How'd you even know I was going to say that? But I guess I had that look.
I'm the Lama.
It's
I'm the Lama.
naturally.
I have psychotic abilities.
Naturally, when you think, okay, this all went down, they gave you a dishonorable discharge. I guess you can't really get a dishonorable discharge from basic training, can you?
I think you can. I think you could definitely go to the jail and stuff. You definitely could do. Yeah, definitely. I think that's a good question. I don't know, but the bottom line is, I left, and then as I'm leaving, here's the pivotal moment, my friend. My drill instructor, one of my drill instructors stops me, goes, "Savitt, I hear you're leaving. Good. You're a failure. And one more thing. Then during the next Great War, while you're watching it on TV, and some unfortunate woman marries you while you have that child, and that child looks up to you in your blue eyes, you know what you're going to say to your child during the next Great War? You could have been a Marine. You're a failure." And one more thing, then he gives a wink, and he goes, "Don't be an attorney, be a comedian." And that was the impetus. So I went to law school. During my second night of law school, I started doing comedy at night. And hence, it brings me to live from my mother's basement.
This is unbelievable. This is an incredible story. I don't think there's any comedian out there other than Tommy that got kicked out of the Marines and the drill instructor said, "You should be a comedian." And here he is, live from my mother's basement.
Everything comes full circle.
Who goes to law school, becomes a Marine, or tries to become a Marine, almost drowns and says, "You know what, this could be a funny show." That's really interesting.
And then I went to complete law school.
Oh, you did? You completed?
I'm licensed.
Oh, so
I'm licensed in Connecticut and attorney. I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer like Better Call Saul.
So did you...
I mean, if I was a lawyer, you know what I would be right now? I'd be hustling at the DMV trying to represent you on your parking ticket.
It's a
I could
classic.
get you off. I could get you off. That's what I'd be doing, a hustle.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
So this is what developed into the act, Tommy Savitt. But now Tommy Savitt, now you're doing stand-up comedy, right?
Yes.
And I guess you're cutting your teeth in the Brooklyn area. Is that where you
Yeah,
started?
I used to do the in Manhattan. I did Pips while I was there, but that wasn't my go-to. I would go to the City Boston Comedy Club, no longer there. New York Comedy Club, Caroline's on Broadway, and so on and so forth. And then the road back then was the best. Now, I was living like a king. I was doing legal work during the day, during the night, weeknights, doing the city clubs, and then I do the road. Now, it's different, the road on the East Coast. It's New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. That's the road. When I came out to LA, I learned what the road was. It's a different ball game. You're all over the place.
Yeah. Things that are very far apart out here. You got to drive kind of far away, whether you go to Northern California and in Los Angeles, there's powerful clubs, but that's not where you're making your money. And Tommy's talking about some comedy clubs on the East Coast that no longer exist. One of the most famous, I would say, iconic comedy clubs in Brooklyn was Pips.
Yes.
A lot of people probably don't even know if you've heard of Pips. I went to Pips once, and it was Wheels Parisi and I. We went over there just to hang out. I know he was performing there back in the day, but I think this place was most famous for Andrew Dice Clay, correct?
Yeah, Dice was there. I think I'm sure. I know. Yeah, definitely Dice is the stick out.
Hold on a minute.
But here's a story though.
That's what happens when you use your phone as a camera and somebody calls, it shuts off the camera. But everybody knows that I think back in the day, Andrew Dice Clay, being from Brooklyn, was cutting his teeth at Pips. And if I remember correctly, when I went to Pips, it was just this tiny little bar. But it became so iconically famous, and it's no longer exists.
I got a story for you that I perpetrated that very few people know, but I used to be an exterminator too. During college, I've done a lot. By the way, that's why I had to start some. I didn't want to start at the childhood because there's a lot of intervals.
I'm Italian. I know a few exterminators.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
So I was.
I got to mention he's also Jewish.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of things that typical Jewish people don't do. If I could just put it out that way, Jewish people don't go to the Marine Corps, and Jewish people don't become exterminators. The Jewish people become lawyers, I think, and comedians. That's definite. Some of the best comedians in the world are either Italian or Jewish. Lately, now everybody's a comedian.
Which brings me to my point now. Pips had like a mirror, a glass, like expensive mirror on the wall, like my mom, right? So I did an exterminator bit. I was a pest control technician, my original act, and I would mimic me killing a certain type of ethnic cockroaches of different nationalities, and one of them, I smashed the mirror.
Oh, really?
I smashed it into pieces. So here's the irony. That later that night, because you could do this in New York, you could do 8 spots a night if you want to, if you have a car. So I went to the New York Comedy Club. They too had a mirror, and I was telling Al, the owner of the New York Comedy Club,
Yeah.
Al, you're not going to believe what happened today. I was at Pips earlier, and I was doing my cockroach bit, and I broke the mirror. Oh my God, Tommy. Yeah. Lo and behold, I do the bit again, and I smash his mirror. And now he comes in and like ripping his hair out. Like, you just told me what you did. You just did it in my club. And that's it. It was an irrelevant side story that
You got it now, but now you're gonna have to tell everybody what it was that broke the mirror.
Okay, it was one of my roaches.
Don't break my sign. Go ahead. How does it go?
I may have done the Polish roach. Where I miss with the micro. I'm mimicking killing the roach with the microphone. and I was going, different roaches, going through a
Right,
roach
right,
routine.
right.
I go, you got your Nazi roach, right? With the leg,
Oh, okay.
So I'm doing all
Goose
these
step.
type of I'm doing all these type of things. So the Polish, I must smash into the mirror.
Oh, so the routine is about different ways to kill different ethnic type roaches.
Right?
But what smashed the mirror? The
The
microphone?
microphone
No shit.
or my hand or both, as I went to hit my
Two
head.
mirrors in one night?
Two mirrors in one night. That's the
It's
significance.
unheard of. Too bad you didn't have TikTok then.
Oh, it's
Imagine the
it's an
Instagram.
original story.
If your Instagram followers was you would have got on that, it would have been insane. So okay, now you're doing stand up. Let's say I would just assume, and I don't know, from the Jewish Brooklyn lawyer Marine point of view, what got you into becoming the Tommy Lama?
Well,
I mean, that's a character, right?
no, it's real. I've evolved. See, it's great because you get to see who I used to be before you. Now you're learning a lot about me.
Right.
You're learning.
Yeah,
You know any? By the way, like my good friend Mike knows nothing about
I
me.
don't know.
That's why we were able to maintain the friendship. But my point is, I had a girlfriend that says I want you to go see a friend of mine, and I just do it because I'm impulsive and I'll just go whatever. No, I go. What does she do? You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. Just go to her. She happened to be an energy healer, so that's when I started learning about New Age and opening the spirituality
Chakras.
and that's when it opened up a whole new world. And instead of using my comedy for evil, like vandalism and destruction, I now use it for good. And I heal people as a placebo. And I'll take questions today. Like, people ask me, Tommy, what should I do? My girlfriend asked me if I had herpes, and I tell my clients the important thing is that you're immune now. And I said, and I told the latest one, like, spread it. That's how you build herd immunity. I don't let these pandemics get to me. You see, when you're Zen, no disease can get to you. Like the pandemic doesn't get the best of me. Like when it was the avian flu, right? I still choked my chicken.
All right. The humor here is absolutely hurting me because I can hear this stuff time and time again, and I love it, and I think it's fantastic. But we're like when I started stand up, I started a certain type of routines. Then I changed. Now I'm trying to do some characters. So, I mean, really, what was the pivotal point that were you doing like regular stand up? Then you turned it into.
So I became the Tommy Lama. So what would happen was I would lose clubs. By doing, and everyone's going, "Why are you doing this?" Because my former show was, I was winning competitions. I won the Boston. I won back-to-back Boston, Seattle, and my album was out. It was getting a lot of play. It was on Blue Collar Radio, the crazy
Big channel.
Yeah, and I was getting work up to kazoo, and just when things are going very well, I had to I had to stop that, and then and you learn to play with your left foot now. I'm a righty, and so
What was it though? Was it getting bored of your act? You just wanted to make a big change?
I get bored.
Right.
I get bored. Like it's.
I remember you performing at Crackers Comedy Club in
Yes.
Where was that?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, and I was at the other Crackers.
Yes.
Now, what do they call Crackers Comedy Club North and Club South or something? And I remember coming over there and I was watching you perform. You might even be the liaison that got me the gig. I really don't remember. God, this is a long time ago, right? I don't even know if those clubs even exist.
I think I don't know. I haven't.
These were famous comedy clubs back out in the day, and I went to go see you. And I'm like, man, this guy is on fire. But I didn't remember you doing any Tommy Lama stuff.
No, that was before.
It was just a
before Enlightenment. Before Enlightenment.
This is when he was doing a completely different act. So when we went to Vegas, I had heard that he was doing something all brand new, which I would say is like a one-man show.
Yes.
It's a one-man show. It's more like a play than stand-up. However, when you were talking to the audience and you break that fourth wall, he had answers for questions to the audience, or you were telling people about their lives.
Yes, I talk to the dead. I'd marry people on stage, even if they didn't know each other. I would read their future if they had one, and all kinds of. It was a live, interactive show where you were my scene partner involved. It was like a Tony and Tina's wedding.
Yes.
For self-help. Except, and I would even have, I don't know, my dearly past friend Mel Cole. I don't know if you ever met Mel Cole.
No.
He would play different characters to greet my customers in. He would dress up as a mafioso. Let's say, this Tommy Lama, he changed my life. People, he would just come up and sit like people they're not expecting this. Or he would dress as a Southerner and all this stuff, and the T-shirt, white beater, and go, this guy's really good, and like people, what the hell are you?
Yeah.
So I would do that kind of, So
he had a cast of characters, especially when we were over at the Tropicana watching Tommy perform, and he also had these great outfits that he would come out dressed like the Tommy Lama, and I remember all the little props that he have.
And I had women do a chorus dance before I went out to introduce the great one to the folk.
I don't know where you got all these girls, but they came out and they were beautiful and they were dressed incredibly. And one of my favorite things was the two bells that you had, and you would ring those bells and you'd say, out, out. No, really, get out or something. I don't remember how it went.
Symbols.
The symbols. Oh, they're symbols?
Symbols.
Tiny little things. And it's a great show. And it's very, very different from your typical stand-up, I would say. Because in the stand-up world, you have a stand-up comedian, you have a political humorist, you have a prop comic, and you have puppets, ventriloquists. Where would you put yourself in these categories? Like a one-man show?
Well, it's stand-up based because there's punchlines after punchlines. So
Yes.
so you
Wait,
still,
but let me say this before you go. His punchline, sometimes it'll hit you twice. The first time you laugh, the second time you lose your shit. I really have to rewind to some of your, maybe some things you do for me are too intelligent. I gotta rewind. What the fuck did he just say? And I love that type of humor, And then it lasts in your head. Then you try to do your jokes and you don't do it justice at all. You ever have somebody do your jokes to other people and they just fuck it up? But that's kindness, and that's them sharing. So it's actually a great compliment, especially when another comedian does it. But this is absolutely fantastic. Folks, you got to watch the scene. Go on my YouTube channel. I don't know if you have it on yours.
I do have it.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's plug your YouTube channel.
Okay. I'm going to plug it in. Oh, my YouTube channel? Okay. That's a great question. I'm worse than you, Mike.
All right, we'll plug on mine.
I'm worse than you.
If you go to my YouTube channel, and it'll attach it to his anyway, because if you watch in the 18 episodes we did of live...
the Tommy Lama.
The Tommy Lama.
The Tommy Lama.
His YouTube channel is YouTube Tommy Lama. And you can watch this scene where me and my fellow comedian Marco Asante, who's Armando Asante's cousin, we go walking to meet the Dalai Lama. Turns out it's the Tommy Lama, and it's one of the funniest improvs you've ever seen. There's no script. We just went in there and said, this is the situation.
Very Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes, very Curb Your Enthusiasm. We call it a hybrid. There's an idea, and there's an outcome, and then we find out what it's going to be once we start shooting. And it's shot, cut, and edited by Cody Boson, and of course Tatiana Bluchel, producer of this show. So you guys got to check this out. I hope we start shooting again because we're gonna have a recurring character. I'd love to be one of those things where we're walking down the street and you're having a hot dog. We're like, Tommy Lama, hey, can we see you? No, I'm busy right now. Something like that. We have some food here tonight, and this week I think, and I really wouldn't know, is some high holiday. They call it high holiday?
It's Wednesday is the Day of Atonement.
This Wednesday?
This Wednesday. So it's a fasting day. It's like a Lent, but in one day, where your Lent choice is no food.
All right.
You don't have any other choice. It's not like I'm going to give up kissing.
Like the Italians give up pasta for one day.
Yeah, right.
Really
Right. We got to give up all foods one day.
All right. So the Jewish people give up eating all of Wednesday of this week.
It starts Wednesday night, goes through Thursday through the night, and then it's done. It's 24 hours.
And then what?
And then you eat.
No, is there what's the Yom Kippur?
It's a Day of Atonement.
Just the one day?
It's to be forgiven for your sins.
Oh, like the Italians when we go to church on
you go
Sunday.
to confession.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kill the guy.
Right. So that's the day for it. So
All right.
we don't have the option to go.
Well, here it is. It's Tuesday, so we're going to feed Tommy. And Tommy was talking about that he's on a little bit of a diet. I've been talking about how I'm trying to be on a diet. But we're back in Los Angeles. And one of my favorite places to get food is Foggia Italian Market and Deli in Lakewood, California. Lakewood, California is very close to the Laugh Factory in Long Beach. And when I was going down to the Laugh Factory in Long Beach, a gentleman by the name of Robert Quattro said to me, why don't you come by my deli and we'll feed you. And boy, did they feed me. I actually took a sandwich from Foggia Italian Market and Deli in Lakewood, California, went on stage with the sandwich. I can't even forget what sandwich this was because it was a chicken cutlet. Sometimes you can have cold chicken cutlet on a beautiful bun. And we're talking bread like Brooklyn, not bread like California. I don't know where he gets the bread, but the bread is absolutely fantastic. So I had this chicken cutlet with a bit of little lettuce on top of it and oil and vinegar, and I ate it on stage, and people were laughing their asses off. So thank you so much for Foggia Italian Market and Deli in Lakewood, California. Folks, look them up. They brought the food that's on the show. We're going to eat it right now. They are at 5522 Del Amo Boulevard, Lakewood, 562-627-0987. You can look them up on the internet as well, foggiadeli.com. That's foggiadeli.com, Lakewood, California. Say hello to Linda and Robert for me. So our catering is presented by A Taste of Italy, Foggia. I have a little bit of pizza here. Robert right now says he's having a hard time listening to us because maybe this isn't all that clear. However, Gina Marie just posted the YouTube video of us going to see the Tommy Lama. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Isn't that unbelievable that people can actually do that? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here on my Facebook fan page, and if you're up there on Instagram, go to my Facebook fan page right now. You could see the post of me, Marco Asante, going to visit the Tommy Lama. Isn't it amazing how fast people could do that? Buonasera, Mike. We Italians can't give up food. We're Uncle Tommy Shash. Oh, that's my Uncle Tommy that they're making fun of. So in the plate over here is what we call antipast, or maybe you would say it's antipuesto. Tommy is Jewish. How would you actually say it?
Antipasta.
Antipasta. He's enjoying some antipasta. And one of my favorite things is antipast. That's the way my mother would say it. There's tomatoes in the plate. There's salami in the plate. Lettuce, onions, ham, and so on and so forth. However, I went pizza with meatballs. So, while we're eating, now would be a good time for anybody to ask questions for either myself or the legendary Tommy Savitt or the Tommy Lama. So hello, Ann Sapphire. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for writing in Cal Swartz, I haven't seen you in 2 years. I miss you very much. Keep on watching. The world is opening up, and comedians like us are getting ready to go back on tour. So open it up to everybody who needs a lesson from the Tommy Lama. We could wait. We're eating. How is it?
It's really good, man.
We can't hear you, LOL. I wonder what that is.
Why?
It's like he left the room and said, talk amongst yourselves. No, we're talking. We just got food in our mouth.
Oh, that little pause that we just did?
Yeah, I guess.
I was worried about the sound.
Testing 1, 2. No sound, no sound, no sound. What the fuck?
What?
Oh, no.
No, what happened, man?
I think sometimes when they call, it fucking shuts off the phone. Oh, man. Well, we're almost at another 10 minutes. Tommy Lama. Oh, great one. What is the meaning of life?
All right, you were going to take that?
No.
You look like you wanted to take
No,
that.
go ahead.
Life has no meaning until you're dead.
Boom. That's from the Tommy Lama. We can't hear you just fine. No worries. Yeah, see, they can hear us here on Facebook, but when somebody calls through on the cell phone, it shuts off the sound on the cell phone. That's what happened up there. Hold on a minute. Here are the questions. You can give them the answer.
Okay, okay, I just saw the meaning of life. There's no other questions. We can hear you just fine. We can hear everything. I'm getting that. So your diagnosis was correct.
Let's see if I fixed it. Hey, Instagram, can you hear us now? Where are you from, bro? Where are you from? Brooklyn.
Canarsie, Brooklyn, where people help people beat up other people.
Shit.
We're having some. It's Mercury retrograde right now. For those of you that don't know, that's where communications are stymied. It's not a good time to plan travel.
From my mother's basement.
So it's and if you're a Virgo like me, you get hit the hardest. So this comes to me as no surprise at all. So the only thing we could do right now in these situations is just enjoy, for those of you that can't hear, just enjoy our silence together. And just look at each other's eyes and say nothing and just know that we're one. Communication is, yes, Gina, communication is screwed up. You know about Mercury retrograde, right, Mike?
I don't know anything about Mercury. I don't know anything about retrograde. All I know is I think I fixed the Instagram feed so you guys could watch me again up there before we get going. How does Mercury retrograde affect Pisces?
Well, it affects every sign, except I just spit out food. But the point is, it affects, it's not a time to sign contracts because it'll go awry. And you'll have miscommunications with your lovers, your family members. And it goes on for several weeks, this whole Mercury thing. You know, so Mercury's a poison for a reason.
I think there's mercury in my Coca-Cola. I can't give up the Coca-Cola, folks. I'm trying to diet. I've been doing everything that I can. Tommy's on a diet too. That's why he's not having the pizza. I don't know how your diet's going, but dieting as a comedian sucks because I'm always hungry and I love to eat when the show's over. And when is the show over?
The show is over. Oh, we got a few minutes, right?
At bedtime.
Oh, bedtime.
Yeah, when most people are done. Yup. Libras too. I'm glad these people are getting a nice psychic reading from you.
Mm-hmm.
How we doing on Instagram? We can hear you now. Missed about 20 to 25 minutes.
Oh,
fuck.
man.
Well, let's recap. Somebody fucking called us, and when the phone call comes through, it ruins the whole thing. So I guess that's what happened. But thank you everybody on Instagram for sticking around. We fixed the problem. We're here with Tommy Lama. We're getting ready to go back on tour. So why about right now? Why don't Tommy tell you where you could find him on the road?
Well, because it's Mercury retrograde and because we went through a pandemic, I was not touching my website, but I do have a website. I'm gonna now. Mike has given me the impetus to go back to my website and be involved in it and post my dates, which I do have. It's at TommyLama.com, and I'm gonna be going to the East Coast, and then I'm going to Canada, and then I'm going to Virginia, Maryland, so on and so forth, and we'll see. But I'm gonna fill in those dots, so you can find me there, and I'm gonna try to use that forum to answer your questions and change your life, or change your enemy's life, because really, my advice is best used against your enemies.
Tommy also plays in Canada quite often. For all my Canadian friends that are watching the show right now, tell them where your most popular club is that you love to go, that I'm hoping I get to go. And
Absolute Comedy Club.
Absolute
Comedy Club. They got 3 clubs, and it's a rocking place. It's really fun. The guy spends a lot on the comedians. You can have all the buffalo wings you want. It's really, really nice. Really nice. And if you ask nice, you can get them baked, especially if you're on a diet.
Baked buffalo wings sounds like a fantastic menu. I love performing in Canada, but right now a lot of Canadians are not allowed to come into the United States. But obviously, this guy made his way into Canada.
No, Canadians I think are allowed in now.
Oh, now?
I think they are allowed.
They have the vaccination bullshit.
No, but now you could go in. You could go in now. If you're vaccinated, you could go into Canada.
Right.
So there's no impediment now going. You could go. So it's open. That's what I'm telling you. What I'm saying is call the booker and get your dates. That's what I'm telling you.
Sometimes comedians can actually help each other get gigs.
Some wise man told him. He couldn't remember who it was, and he goes, Tommy, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. And this happened actually right before the show. He goes, Tommy, I'm going to tell you what some wise man once told me. I don't know when. He says, the comedians are your best bookers. Oh, really, Mike? I go, who told you that? I don't know, some guy. I don't remember when it was. I think this guy was in the car with you a few months ago while you were headed to New Jersey. No, you were heading to New York to do a club with him. It was me, the Tommy Lama. Thank you for quoting me.
How embarrassing. I said to him, I said, a very intelligent man said to me once, comedians could be the best agents to other comedians. That's what you said.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, you remembered that part.
Comedians could be the best agents to other comedians. And we were in the car driving to the Broadway Comedy Club in New York, and I forgot that he's the one that told me that, and I told it to him just now before the show.
Because in this business, it's your fellow comedian that will refer you for other work and get you in the doors.
Right.
They are your more than your agent, more than your
producer, manager,
whatever,
booker.
It's your comedian that is your best agent.
Yeah, because we know what's going on in the world anyway, and we're friends with usually the talent coordinators. It doesn't always work, but for the most part, it does. So we're both now here in Los Angeles, and this weekend I'm going up to Laughs Unlimited, which is in Sacramento, California. So for you people who are in Sacramento or in the Fresno area or even the San Francisco area, come on down to Laughs Unlimited in Old Town Sacramento, one of the oldest comedy clubs in the world. It's like 45 years old, this club. And so just go to my website, MikeMarino.net. What are you doing this week or weekend?
What am I doing this week? Hold on, let me think. Give me a second, okay? Don't rush me. this week, I'm gonna set up my lineup in fantasy football.
Fantastic.
Takes a lot of energy.
I've never done that.
Oh well.
I don't
Listen,
get- I don't
listen. If you want to listen, the best way to take away the pain of life is to distract yourself.
I distract myself with food.
I'm just telling you, it
Marijuana.
numbs the pain.
Yeah.
It numbs the pain.
You
It is-
smoke pot?
I don't smoke pot.
You don't?
No,
No?
no, because
You drink?
you got to be careful with the pot. You have to know what's in it. You could underdose. Yes, I drink. You know, you want to get a handle on life. Get a handle on a bottle of vodka. Vodka is fantastic. Why? It's 60% water, and your body needs that, and it helps you sober up so you could drink more. When you vomit, you release toxins, and it work out your abs. You may black out, but that's your body protecting you from embarrassing memories. This is the kind of stuff I do. So, like in my show, I go with nutrition. I talk about such nutrition values, and I advocate. I explain that. If God didn't want us to use cocaine, why did He create tiny Ziplocs? I make you think.
Yes, you do.
Make you think.
Look at Gina Marie. Your advice is changing Tommy. It's life changing. And there's Robert Quarcho, who actually owns Foggia Italian Market and Deli
Delicious.
in Lakewood. So we're enjoying your food.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Robert. I miss you and Linda and your family. And Sapphire, thank you so much for constantly writing into the show. JJ Fossiter, thank you so much for being a great fan. I want to thank everybody for tuning in right now. And thank you for coming back again. Frank's Cafero. Well, hold on a minute. I'm reading an Instagram letter. Frank Scafario, how you doing? Anthony Rena, I hope you guys are having a good time. Sorry about the mishap on the camera like that. I think a lot of people might be noticing I got a little something on my nose. I had a little piece of cancer, or what might be cancer, and I went to the skin doctor and he cut it off with a knife. Doesn't really hurt, but it hurt when he gave me the needle. But I'm getting that taken care of, because I think everybody should take care of themselves. I go to see my cardiologist. We talked about that, and I go to see the skin doctor, and I go to see all the doctors that keep me healthy, so that now that the world is starting to open up a little bit, we can get on the planes, travel, and bring some comedy into your neighborhoods. And we were talking about you have sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And tell us what happened.
Well, basically, everyone has sleep apnea for different reasons. Some people because they may be overweight and they lose the weight, or it could be an anatomical thing, like my tongue. My tongue will droop back into my throat when I go to sleep. So hence, I'll be choking.
Is this a joke?
No,
Or
no, no
I
joke.
thought this was a setup.
No, I'm not setting you up. You asked. We're doing cancer jokes now.
No.
I didn't know you were setting.
So somebody can actually choke on their own tongue.
Yeah. You, Reggie White, the famous linebacker on the Philadelphia Eagles, died in his sleep. He was the most fit man. You die, if you don't. So there is so you get a CPAP machine. But the thing is, the CPAP that I have is recalled after so many years of using it for causing cancer.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So
How do you even find that out?
I got a letter.
No kidding.
Yeah. So this
Return your machine.
this class action suits, and the
Unbelievable.
downside is, or it's the upside, I can't join this class action suit unless I have cancer.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I have to go check. And then it's a win-win.
Unbelievable. So what do you do? Take this sleep apnea machine back and get a new one?
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm still waiting. So I have a choice how I want to.
So if there's a person out there right now who has this sleep apnea and you choke on your tongue, or your tongue falls back into your mouth, what are they supposed to do? Sleep on their side?
Well,
sleep on
no,
your belly?
well, yeah, I guess, but no, I mean, here's the thing: they offer a procedure they could cut your tongue, but there's no guarantee, so I forego that option. It's a win-win for me, Mike. Don't worry. It's all positive. Either way, if I have cancer, I'm gonna get money. So it's all and if I can't, I don't have cancer, I don't get money, but I live. So that's how you got to look at life. Always look at the positive.
Yeah.
You know, I had one guy, and I tell that to my clients. I had one client come up to me and said, "Tommy, I'm going to be married for the rest of my life." I said, "Don't be so pessimistic."
Let's take in a couple more questions for Tommy so then we can get out of here. All right. Anybody want to talk to the Tommy Lama? I'm sorry what happened on Instagram, but there's a lot of people watching the show up there right now. So we'll take in some Instagram questions. I run three cameras while I do the show, folks. This is, of course, Facebook, my fan page. That is Instagram. And the third one is when you watch this all on YouTube in the future. Right now, we're just recording live. We're having some fun. But everybody can continue watching these shows. This is episode 201 with, of course, my friend Tommy Lama. We're also going to be on iTunes, Google, Spotify, Anchor, and also Italian American Radio out of New York City. We're on YouTube, Instagram, my website, MikeMarino.net, Twitter, LinkedIn, and also if you want to send some money, I'm on Patreon. I could always use some help. That's why I have the Tommy Lama on the show, so I can get helped. Come on, that was fucking hilarious. Where in Brooklyn are you from?
Canarsie.
Yeah, he asked that question earlier in the show.
Yeah, but they didn't hear that part.
Yeah,
They didn't hear that part, but they missed 20 minutes.
yeah. Watch it tomorrow. It's the same answer. We're getting ready to go on tour, so I know you got a big tour, and I know you're doing Canada. And where are you going in New Jersey? Well, he's going back to New Jersey to visit his family because he's a nice family man. Goes to see his mom.
Yes.
And his mom lives in a really nice area of New Jersey. I believe it's Inglewood.
You met my mother.
That's right, I did. I thought she had an accent from Brooklyn. It's not. It's from
Romania.
Romania. It's a great accent, and the house smelled fantastic. And I felt like just saying, "Could you cook for me? I am starving." You ever go to somebody's house and the food, the scent is of like old school cooking? You know, like maybe they've been cooking for days, and you feel like going, "Look, can you please just feed me? I'll take the leftovers." You know, I remember when my mother was alive, you would go home and the house just stunk of the most incredible food. And you're like, "Mom, what's in the refrigerator?" And within seconds, there's a buffet on the table. And I miss that. You get that when you go home?
Oh, it's the best.
It's the best, right?
Muscle memory. I mean, the sense of childhood. It's awesome. It's the best.
See, our food provided by Foggia Italian Market in Delhi. Tonight, Robert Cortro is asking if Tommy lives in California. You know why he's asking that question? Because he wants Tommy to come down there and grab some food. I mean, it's really the best.
Yes!
You really feel like you went back in time. Everybody working in there is fun, funny, and just the food is out of control, from cold cuts to delicacies, wines, you name it, coffee. Foggia Italian Market in Delhi. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, the food tonight was provided by them. They are at 562-627-0987. Go down there and say to Robert and Linda, we watched live from my mother's basement and we wanted to come and see in person what's going on down here. Pick up some meatballs, pick up some sausages, these little red cherry peppers, marinated artichokes, marinated mushrooms. I mean, you know what? We're going to go. We're going to have to go. We're getting invited. We have to go back down there. I'm going to give them all shirts that say Marino 2024, and we're going to have a party. We should actually do a show at his place.
Let's do it.
We could do a show at his place.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, Robert, we want to do a show at your restaurant. They got outdoor seating, and there's all kinds of great stuff down there, you know. So we're going to make that happen. All right, Instagram. All right, Facebook. We got to get going. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching tonight's show, episode 2001, with my friend Tommy Savitt. You can say TommySavitt.com.
TommyLama.com.
TommyLama.com. Log on to his website, check out where he's going, watch him in my web series, Make America Italian Again. The information's right here on Facebook, but it's also on YouTube at Mike Marino Live on YouTube. All my social media, again, is at Mike Marino Live. Let's read one or two more questions before
Sure,
we get
absolutely.
out of here.
I
All right,
I want your clientele to feel fulfilled.
This is coming from Ann Sapphire. Mike, gates have opened. All the best on tour. Hit the road running. Make America Italian Again. God love you. Thank you so much for saying that. And Gina Marie says, great show tonight, fellas. Now, my friend Anthony Rena, who watches on Instagram, there used to be a place that did comedy shows in Inglewood. Do they still do shows there? But then again, that's in the days of Pips.
Well, that's your jurisdiction.
Yeah. I think you mean West Orange, and that was a place called Rascals. I don't remember anything in Inglewood. And when you say Inglewood, we're in Los Angeles, and there's an area around here called Inglewood. They don't do shows.
There is a club in Inglewood.
In Inglewood?
It's called the Spot or something like that.
Oh, by the airport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
We don't go there. It's not that nice of a neighborhood. If you're not funny, you're getting shot at on the outside. So we got to get going. All right, we had a great time. Say goodbye, everybody. Remember, let's make America Italian again. You don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing. And how do I end every single one of my broadcasts? By always saying the same thing. Ready?
Don't take no shit from nobody.
Good night. Hey folks, I hope you're enjoying watching my podcast live from my mother's basement. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm going to have a lot of great guests on the show in the future. So if you like it, hit like. You could also leave a comment. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch other funny videos. And you could also listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app like Spotify and iTunes.